Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, welcome y'all. Yes. To all my new people, thank you so much for tuning in to all my day 1 to 96, 250, whatever week you came in and you decided to keep listening. Thank you so much for your continued support. Y'all, I have to laugh. It's not funny though. Like, I am determined to get this episode recorded, but it has been wild how many times I have had to restart this episode. It's also wild because, one, this is an uncomfortable topic to talk about because my emotions are actually still pretty raw. Like, I'm processing through it, have not reached the other side. So that's what y'all gonna get this episode, right? So there's that. Then there's also the fact that typically in the past when I have done episodes like this, we would call this the Closet Chronicles. Also, if you're not new, you know that I mess up on my words sometimes and it just be like that. And I don't even edit it out because it's just who I am as a person. Like, I do that in real life. So I'm not about to get on this show and pretend I'm somebody I'm not. But with that, we know with the Closet Chronicles, there was no video. And also I'm like new to having video again. And so it's really interesting, like looking at myself while I'm talking about this. And this could be why I've had so many retakes. But with that, you know, what I'm kind of wrestling with right now is just this notion. And it's sadly, it's not something that I'm like new to. It's something that's happened many times in my life where I've put someone at this place in my heart, mind, life, whatever, that they really didn't deserve to be or need to be based on various factors. And what's interesting is I'm not talking about anybody that I've ever dated because I've been single for a long time, you know? So I'm talking about friends, which makes this actually a little bit more disheartening because friendship relationships are just different than typically, you know, dating relationships. Actually, I don't even know because I've been single so long. I was even thinking the other day, like, how do you even like date? Like, how much should you be talking to that person? Like, just all kinds of stuff like that. So let's not even pretend like I have dating advice. But what I will say is I feel like, you know, friendships, you could have a breakup, you know, dating, this I do know, but you'll still have your friends typically, right? And so with that, it's kind of like I more recently realized that there's just somebody in my life that I had in a place that they shouldn't have been. And then with that, it's been a little bit frustrating on my end because, one, I am a little more selective about like letting people in. I'm typically not like quick to let people in and just stuff like that. And so that said, I'm also an observer and I like pay attention to people. It's so funny. I literally just had this conversation with someone recently where he was asking me like if I'm selective on who I talk to and stuff like that, and was just telling me the things that he, you know, observed about me. And one of them was that I do like analyze people and just stuff like that. And I do, you know, because it's kind of like life is difficult enough. The people that are in your life should be people that are like adding value to your life or laughter, like something, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be where, you know, where you have those situations where it's kind of like, well, we'll use CrossFit, right? I like doing CrossFit. Like, I really do. There are things that I don't like within it. Everybody knows I hate burpees, right? But overall, I do enjoy doing CrossFit. Now, here's the thing. There are so many different ways that you can work out. So like if I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and I'm talking about how much I like CrossFit, good Lord, and they are trying to like belittle me because I'm doing CrossFit and I'm not doing what they're doing, or, you know, whatever. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, me doing CrossFit is not negatively affecting anyone's life. So I'm talking about stuff like that. I'm not talking about if I was doing something that was harmful to somebody and somebody's like calling me out or trying to call me higher. No, I am very open to people speaking truth into my life when needed. But I'm just saying, like, things like that where it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't affect anybody else. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I like what I'm doing. But you're like trying to belittle me. Stuff like that is where it's kind of like, that's not okay. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I actually don't even know how we ended up going there. But there you go. You know, if you have people like that in your life, you might want to question kind of like why. But with that, it's kind of like, yeah, I am more selective about who I let in. I am like trying to be around people that are, you know, either kind of doing similar things to me, not all things, but like, you know, are going to encourage me, are going to challenge me that I can grow with, or just whatever. Like, that is really who I'm trying to be around, like, especially when it comes to like close circle, right? And so with that, it's really frustrating because I just realized that, yeah, there's a relationship in my life that was just in a place that it shouldn't have been. And I've been in this interesting, and it's literally all just came to a head over the last week. Like, had blinders on, I guess, for however long. And then, you know, man, I once was blind and now I see. And now that I see, it's like I'm finding myself angry with myself. It's just been this weird mesh of anger with myself, because it's like, bruh, how did you not see this before? Like, how were you that blind to the way things really are? And then also kind of grieving the loss of what I thought it was or whatever. And so it's just been really, really frustrating and just, yeah, really like, dang, how was I so blind? How do I even know this person? Like, it's been, because there's just things that I've found out that I'm just kind of like, man, that's kind of crazy, right? And so then with that, it's like I've had to just give myself grace that, hey, I believe the best about people. I really do try to believe the best about people. And so then when you believe the best about people, sometimes you miss out on things, or sometimes you know, find out the truth later and it's a little disheartening. And then what do you do in that situation? Because it's actually been very triggering, you know what I mean? And then it's actually made me like, I don't know, almost want to be more guarded, but why? You know what I mean? But that's the thing, is that I have had to like, okay, that means I need to process through this. I need to like heal from this, because the thing about it is, when pain is unchecked and we just ignore it and we just leave it there, then what's going to happen is there's going to be another friendship, or it could even be somebody trying to date me, where then I'm more guarded than I should need to be unnecessarily, because this person has done nothing, but I have this unchecked pain that's just there, and then I'm going to get triggered, and, you know, ultimately I'm going to miss out on something good because I chose to hold on to the pain and not heal and whatever, and not allow myself the grace to be like, girl, like, it's not like this person was just malicious or whatever. It's not even that, you know what I mean? And it's actually really hasn't been that with any of the friendships that have shifted over the years, but it's more so just as somebody who really tries to be intentional, as somebody who really is a little bit more selective about like who I let in or whatever, especially as I've gotten older and realized how just either naive or whatever I used to be. And so then as I am somebody who tries to be that way, and then at my big age, like they say, being in this state of like, dang, yeah, how did I miss that? You know what I mean? And it's been really, really frustrating, and I'm in process, but really at the time of this recording, shout out to 12 Cal, it's kind of like it's only been a couple of days, or we'll say it's been a week, over the past week. It wasn't the whole time, but we'll just say over the course of this past week, there's just been so many different things that have just come to light or just whatever. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, yeah, I guess this is what we're doing. And I guess this is what I have to process. And I guess this is just where I'm at. And it's really, really frustrating. And yeah, and I wish this was the first time this has ever happened where somebody had this place in my life that they shouldn't have, or is it that they really shouldn't have? Is it that maybe they needed to for a season and then the season ended, or is it that they really shouldn't? And I don't actually have an answer for that, because again, no one that has ever shifted will just say out of my life. It's not going to be that dramatic with this. And typically it's not that dramatic. Sometimes you just kind of reprioritize like their place in your life, right? But nevertheless, there's never been anyone that has really shifted out of my life friendship wise for like malicious reasons. Because again, I am a little more selective about who I have in my life. But it's like, what is it? Is it that the season has ended and I've grown and I've shifted, and when you grow or when you're, becoming more whole, you no longer tolerate the things that you used to? It could be that, and that's okay, right? We're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to grow and evolve past things that we used to allow and be like, I'm no longer okay with that. We're allowed to do that. So it could be that, or it could be that I just was blind and now I see, and now I don't like what I see. And, I don't know actually the answer to that. Like I really don't have an answer. And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at this week. And I'm really excited though about a series that I'm going to be starting soon, and there's going to be like a guest host, so more to come on that. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk more about it once we actually record the first episode, but there won't be visuals for that because the way I'm going to record is going to be completely different. I'm actually going to be doing my first like in-person recording with a guest, so that's cool because it's always been virtually, but this is somebody who lives in the same city as me, so he and I are going to do this series together, and I'm super excited about it. But then with that means there's not going to be video, because now granted, technically I probably could use the cameras at my job to record, but that's just doing too much, because then it's just going to be more learning than I really feel like doing. And I don't really want to ask anybody to do it for me because, so yeah, I'm super excited about that. But other than that, yeah, that is how this week has been. That is what I have. I'm really just trying to kind of process through all of this, grieve a little bit, because it is sad when you realize something or someone is not as you thought, and it's okay to be sad, right? It's okay to grieve the loss of what I thought was, but also it's okay to be like, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm good on all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay too. So it's all part of taking care of myself mentally and taking care of myself emotionally. Like, those are so important, because if I'm not taking care of myself in those ways, I'm not going to be healthy in my relationships. Taking care of myself spiritually too. One of the things that I know and man, for the most part, I'm pretty good at it, but I can always tell the days when I chose sleep over getting up when I really need to get up, to where then I got to rush out of the house. And then what I will at least do now is I will listen to the daily reading, so I'm at least hearing, something that's feeding my spirit. But it's not the same as like sitting and reading and actually like maybe journaling, maybe not. And then what I've also been doing is listening to more worship music. A lot of times I just don't listen to music, and I'm not saying I only listen to worship music, but what I will say is, man, sometimes having those in-home or in the car worship sessions when you going through it. I remember the other day I was watching Zaire and, played some music, and I'm just singing my little heart out, and he's just kind of looking at me, and it's just funny. But we had a lot of fun that day because that was my day off. And when I watch him on the days when I have to work, granted I'm working from home, but it's probably not as fun for him as on my days off when I can literally just play or, whatever. So yeah. And then, taking care of myself physically, like making sure that I am getting in workouts and stuff like that, because I sleep better when I get in a good workout. Like I can always, there was like a couple weeks ago, I only went to the gym once, and I could tell, you know what I mean? Because then when I went to the gym more than just once the following week, I slept better. Like, so yeah, all of that, it's really just about taking care of myself. And unfortunately, sometimes that means you gotta either let people go, or you just have to kind of reprioritize where they're at in your heart, mind, life, whatever. So that is what I have for y'all this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all so much, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for